to the Adventurous podcast. I'm your host, Deidre Perry, and these are my co-hosts. And weekly, we will be coming to you to bring you the latest information in the world of agriculture. We invite you to join us every Saturday from 10 to 10:30. Join us. Come on, take an adventure. Happy Saturday and welcome to the Adventurous podcast. I'm your host, Deidre Perry, and as you see, I'm co-hostless today. Not to worry. They still don't have their names. You know, when we started with our girl and boy pig and our sidekick cow, and we've encouraged our little adventurers to name them, and they're waiting on their names to reappear. We've extended the naming contest deadline to May 31st, and you can go to our website at www.adventurouscareers.com to go and submit your naming ideas, or you may email them to me at deidreperry@gmail.com. All of the contest rules are available on our website, and we are looking so forward to getting our co-hosts back. It's kind of lonely up here without them. We love our co-hosts. We love you guys. And take an adventure and name them for me. Speaking of adventures, we want to also talk about our wonderful farmers and a new adventure we're starting, and it's called our Buy Local Guide. We will be releasing after the summer a buy local guide for all of the local farmers here in the surrounding area, and we will be producing a list that lets you know what they are growing or producing and how you can get items straight from farm to table. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on, because there's a couple of programs that I think are going to benefit farmers with getting what they're producing out and sold. Okay, so every week we have a word of the week. And for the last couple of weeks, we had some interesting words. Our first word was agroecology. We also, what was our other words? Conservation and sustainability. This week, our word of the week is biodiversity. And if you are taking a quick look at the screen here, or the TV channel there, it says that biodiversity is the variety of life in the world or in a particular habitat or ecosystem. The variety, the multitudes of living organisms in the world or in a particular habitat or ecosystem. So our words for the month are agroecology, conservation, sustainability, and biodiversity. If you send us an email with all of the words correctly and the correct definitions, you will receive a bonus prize from We Believe Digital, Earthland Coffee, and NSDT. And we also want to tell those organizations thank you, because they do support and sponsor this show along with USDA and NRCS. Now, our highlight farmer this week is not necessarily a farmer, but our highlight farmer is a community of farmers. This week, we're going to be highlighting the Million Garden Movement community. And I'm going to click over to their website so that we could just take a look. They're an awesome organization, a community of farmers that are committed to making sure everyone knows how to grow their own food. And they've got a website up here where they give all kinds of great information on how to grow a garden. They tell you how to grow specific items. They give you lists of farmers and things like that. And their goal is to make sure that there are 1 million gardens within the next year. Little tip, did you know that you could save up to $677 a year on average if you grow your own fruits and vegetables? And that number may even grow just a little bit when you take into consideration the time and gas that you save. We want to give a shout out to the Million Gardens Movement, and they're our highlight farmer or community of farmers for this week. Beautiful website. They have tons of information, and you can get a garden box to grow for yourself, or you can give a garden box. They have a give a garden or a grow a garden link right there on their website. So if you're interested in growing your own food, you want to go ahead and grow a garden, but you may be interested in maybe getting some of your family members to get into gardening, and you can give them a garden. So this week's highlight farmer is a community of farmers. Shout out to the Million Garden Movement. We appreciate all that you're doing to make sure that everyone here everyone here in America can grow their own food and that we're not struggling with food insecurities. We're going to take just a little bit of break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the CARES Act every week, and especially through May. And as long as we're continuing in the pandemic and getting funds released and different information available, we want to make sure that we're passing that on to you. And with the CARES Act, they have something called a food supply chain benefit, and it's a box food program. And we're going to cover that when we come back.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee. To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Socrates Gary Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com. Socrates talks politics, finances, and social issues that affect the Black community and so much more. Phenomenal guests and engaging conversation. Straight talk, no nonsense topics that are informative, educational, and inspiring. Socrates goes live with politicians, church leaders, business owners, and others. The time is now. Talking to you about us. Socrates Gary Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com.
Thank you for staying with me and going on that ag adventure with us. As promised, we're going to be talking about the CARES Act. And before we went to the short break, I mentioned that we will be talking about the food supply chain and agricultural pandemic response. As you know, the CARE Act appropriates $3.6 billion, approximately 35% of total agricultural expenditures for USDA to purchase and distribute agricultural commodities and fund COVID-19 mitigation efforts for agricultural and supply chain workers. This is similar efforts through the Farm to Families Food Box, and it's resulted in over 140 million boxes, including dairy products, fluid milk, fruits, vegetables, and pre-cooked meals to be distributed. This package differs in the food donation effort, and they're now expected to also include other distribution channels such as restaurants, food-related entities that can receive, store, process, and distribute food items. Other efforts to protect the food and agricultural supply chain include, of course, $300 million for animal monitoring and surveillance efforts for the incidence of SARS-CoV-2 in cattle. For example, mink and cats are more likely to expose humans to the viral strain that causes COVID-19 in humans. Another $100 million is appropriated to reduce fees associated with overtime inspection costs at federally inspected small and very small poultry, egg, and processing facilities. So that's just a brief description of what this food supply chain and agricultural pandemic response is about. And it's really neat because there's a couple of things that are important about this. One is that they have it where they can actually give food to food insecure families. So if you're a food insecure family and you're struggling right now, and we'll go over to that site in just a moment, you would be able to go and sign up and get assistance with getting food boxes. And we can click over to that site there. So to date, the Farmers to Families Food Box Program has delivered over 163 million boxes of fresh produce, milk, dairy, and cooked meats to disadvantaged Americans across the country. Now, this is round 5 of that program. And in round 5 of that program, it's important to note that it'll end on May 31st. So this was designed and implemented as a temporary emergency relief response to severe market disruptions that have been caused by this pandemic. And a part of what they've been trying to do is to make sure that families who are insecure are getting what they need. Now, this is important to farmers because if you are a farmer or a producer, you have the opportunity to sell food to USDA. So on that site, if you see that blue box there where I read about the program ending on May 31st, you'll also see a link right above it where it says selling food to USDA. So not only is that particular part of the CARES Act great for families who are struggling, but it's also amazing for farmers who are trying to learn how to get their food sold to USDA. And you're going to do that through AMS, and that's the Agricultural Marketing Service. And they purchase over 100% of domestically produced and processed commodity food products. So in order to participate in order for you to participate in selling food to the USDA, you want to come over to this site, which is the USDA Agricultural Marketing Service, the USDA's Agricultural Marketing Service. And when you come there, they have all of the rules and the regulations. They have all of the pilot programs and trade mitigation programs listed, all of the commodities that they've purchased, and they have links. So if you are interested in selling food to USDA, you are a producer and you're just overwhelmed. I saw a year or so back, there was a potato producer, and he had millions of potatoes and he just had to get rid of them. If you're a producer and you're not getting your product out, this may be an amazing opportunity for you to be able to sell food to the USDA. Now, I'm not going to go in depth in the application process on this particular portion of the CARES Act, but I did want to make it known that, one, they have the food supply chain boxes so that families can get food and that they're adequately nourished during the course of the pandemic. And two, that it is an opportunity for farmers to sell their items to USDA through commodity procurement. So CARES Act is doing a lot of things for people, including giving the farmers who have been affected by it and may not have been able to market like they normally do or deliver food to places that they normally deliver their product and foods to, an opportunity to get their products sold. So for this week, our CARES Act highlight is through the Agricultural Marketing Service, where you can go and get more information about the food supply chain and selling food to USDA. You can become an approved vendor. There you'll find the links for the box program if you'd like to take advantage of it. And then they also have an emergency fresh produce package link there as well. So make sure that you want to go over to the USDA and you want to go /AMS so that you too can take advantage of this part of the CARES Act, providing food to food insecure families and an opportunity for farmers to recoup some of that revenue and sell their product. So that is the show for today. Today we talked about our word of the week, which is biodiversity. We gave a shout out to the Million Gardens Movement Project, which is a community of farmers making sure that everyone can grow their own fresh food. We've talked about our co-hosts who really need names, and so we want to make sure that you're going over to www.adventurouscareers.com so that you can submit your naming suggestions. We will be announcing the winners here shortly. We've extended the contest date to May 31st. And also remember, that is the date for round 5 of the CARES Act food supply chain. I meant to mention that on May 31st, that is also the deadline for round 5. If you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of getting those boxes, or if you're a producer and you want to be a part of round 6, now's the time to jump in. We thank you so much for taking this ag venture with us. And on next week, we're going to be doing something exciting. We're going to be getting dirty. We're going to talk about making your own raised bed garden. Actually, we're going to plant something for you and show you just how easy it is for you to grow your own food at home. We thank you so much for participating in our ag venture this week. We look forward to getting dirty and taking an ag venture with you on next week. And we want to thank the USDA, NRCS, NSDT, Earth Blend Coffee, and We Believe Digital for making it possible. We invite you back here next week, 10 a.m. for our next ag venture. I'm your host, Deidre Perry. Bye. After you click the selling food to USDA, if you're going to sell your product or your produce to USDA, you will click that link and you will find below are 6 recommended steps for becoming a USDA approved vendor. We strongly recommend that prospective vendors explore the resources and documents below prior to submitting an application package. Now, this is great because they have a whole webinar. I'm not going to click the webinar because it'll take us to a different video. However, when you get to this place, you may click this link, the one that just turned blue. Here, see, we'll turn it blue again. And that link will take you to a whole video, which is a walkthrough on becoming a vendor. There's also the slides. There's a PDF section there. And then there is a checklist. And I will click on this checklist here for you so that you can see some of the items that they're going to require. So, of course, you have to be registered in SAMS, and that's www.sam.gov. If you do any business with the government, you should be there. You will indicate your size. If you're a woman-owned business, veteran-owned business, you'll get letters of references. You'll click the type of business that you are. If you're a non-manufacturer, then you have some different instructions and your financial statements. But all of the instructions in order for you to become a vendor and what you would need are right there on that checklist. So you want to make sure that you're going over to the USDA and let's see, can we come out of here? USDA AMS site. And when you get to that site, you want to be sure that you look at all of the links there that are available to you so that you don't miss anything. They have learning more about becoming an approved vendor, how people can get a hold of the food box programs, and all of that is available at www.usda.gov/agricultural marketing services. Welcome to the Adventurous podcast. I'm your host, Deidre Perry, and these are my co-hosts. And weekly, we will be coming to you to bring you the latest information in the world of agriculture. We invite you to join us every Saturday from 10 to 10:30. Join us. Come on, take an adventure.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee. To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
The Mississippi Link is an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth, since 1993. Tune in each Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Central and hear a live broadcast of stories in our weekly publication. The Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippi.link.com and click on Home Delivery.